Okay, let's talk about that classic entrepreneurial dream, running your very own hot dog cart. You know, on the surface, it seems so simple. How hard can it be, right? But the truth is, the path to success is absolutely littered with some surprisingly common mistakes. So think of this as your MBA in street food survival. Come on, admit it. You thought about it. I mean, the freedom, the cash in your hand at the end of the day, that feeling of building something that is 100% yours. It's a really powerful dream, and for good reason. And this quote just nails that fantasy, doesn't it? It's about so much more than just food. It's about grabbing the steering wheel of your own life. And a hot dog cart, well, it feels like one of the most real, most accessible ways to actually do it. Here comes the reality check, because for every success story you hear about, there are dozens and dozens of carts that just quietly vanish. So why? Well, it's almost never about how good the hot dogs are. It's about all the hidden traps. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to walk through the top mistakes that sink these businesses before they even get started. So the first batch of mistakes, they happen before you even sell a single hot dog. This is all about the foundation. I mean, if you get this part wrong, the whole business, it can just crumble. Now, this right here is a perfect example of a classic trap. Mistake number one, trying to save a buck by skimping on your gear. You see it on the left, right? The cheap crap trap. It feels so smart at first. You save some cash, but then that equipment fails right in the middle of a lunch rush. You're not just losing sales for that day, you're probably forced to go buy a better replacement anyway. You end up on the right side of this slide no matter what. You've just spent twice as much to get there. And this brings us to the next big foundational mistake, not taking the local codes seriously. And this is more than just getting a permit. Some inspectors might try to invent rules on the spot, costing you money on phantom fixes you don't even need. That pro tip at the bottom is pure gold. Always, always ask to see the regulation in writing. A little bit of homework right at the beginning can literally save you from being shut down. Okay, moving on to our second pillar, street smart strategy. Once you're all set up with the right gear and permits, success is all about being smart, being adaptable, and checking your ego at the curb. So here we have three huge strategic blunders all rolled into one. First up, the menu. The big mistake is getting too fancy. You've got to keep it simple because basics sell. Next, your audience. You have to know your crowd. You wouldn't sell the same things at a construction site that you would outside a ballpark. And finally, location, location, location. Your cart has wheels for a reason. Use them. Don't just commit to one spot until you've really tested the waters. So what's the most crucial part of your strategy? It's this. You have to listen. I love this quote. It's all about taking what your customers tell you and show you seriously. They will tell you what's working and what's not. Your job is just to pay attention, adapt, and give them more of what they love. All right, pillar 3. This one's about the real deal, the daily grind. That freedom of being your own boss that we all dream about, well, it's earned. It's earned through some serious discipline and consistency, day in and day out. A classic rookie mistake is just guessing how many buns or hot dogs you're going to need. This either leads to you throwing away perfectly good food and money, or, even worse, running out and losing sales. The solution is simple, but it's so powerful. Plan your day. Don't guess your day. For the first few weeks, track everything. That data becomes your roadmap. It will tell you exactly what you need to buy, which saves you money and maximizes your profit. And that really just gets to the heart of this whole thing. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Those few hours you might see a vendor working on the street, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It doesn't show all the prep, the cleanup, the shopping, the planning. Without that internal drive, that hustle, well, the dream falls apart really, really fast. Okay, this brings us to our final pillar, and honestly, it might be the most important one of all. Because all the great strategy and hard work in the world, it won't matter if you lose the mental battle. This is all about winning the inner game. So what in the world is the recession trap? Well, it's basically a self-fulfilling prophecy. A vendor hears bad news on the radio about the economy, and they immediately start to panic and pull back. They buy less inventory, maybe they seem kind of defeated when they're serving customers. And people notice. Their business starts to fail, not because of the actual economy, but because they started acting like it had already failed. Your mindset really does drive your actions. Which leads us to the final and maybe the most surprising key to success. In a business that seems like it's all about speed and numbers, the biggest thing that sets you apart, it's not your price, it's your hospitality. Just think about it for a second. Shake Shack started as a humble hot dog cart, right? but it was built on this foundation of enlightened hospitality. When you remember a regular's name, or you ask them how their day is going and you serve them with a genuine smile, you're not just making a sale. You're building a real connection. You're creating a loyal fan who will come back over and over, and that is something no competitor can ever steal from you. So when you boil it all down, running a hot dog cart is basically a masterclass in business fundamentals. You've got operations, strategy, psychology, marketing, it's all there. It's about being resilient, and it's about being smart. And that kind of leaves us with this one last thought. Whether you're actually planning to start a business or you're just trying to level up in your career, the lessons here are exactly the same. It's almost never some giant, massive overhaul that leads to a breakthrough. It's usually one small, smart adjustment. So looking at all these common mistakes, what's the one small tweak you can make today that could change everything?